Hello everyone, we are back in our van and officially in our 18th state of Illinois. More specifically, we are in the Chicago area. This morning, we did some of the tourist stuff around Millennium Park, including going to see the Bean, doing all our cheesy pictures in the reflection, walking down to the boardwalk area where we got to see the Ferris wheel and the marina, and also eating some Chicago deep dish pizza. But that's not the real reason why we're here in Chicago. We're here because it's the beginning of Route 66. Our names are Mike and Heather. We're traveling the US in our van Appa on a mission to visit all 50 states. Subscribe and join us as we try to figure out this whole van life thing. As always, thanks for watching. Now I gotta go back to Appa.
We're officially on Route 66. I have no idea where to go. Oh, cool. That's a nice one.
So we are currently driving down Route 66, which is a bucket list item for Mike and I. For those of you who are not familiar, Route 66 is known as the Mother Road here in the United States. It starts all the way up in Chicago and runs through the United States west to California and ends in Los Angeles. It was one of the original highways that connected the East Coast to the West Coast and vice versa. It was really popular in the early 1920s and is filled with traditional Americana and all sorts of sights.
After the highway came in and allowed for people to move from one side of the country to the other much more quickly, this road became less and less traveled and some of the towns along there died off. So what's left are kind of classic pieces of American history, and that's what we're really excited to see.
Basically, if you ever saw the movie Cars from Disney, kind of explains the whole point of it. We're gonna travel as much of the original part of Route 66 as possible and be able to stop in and see all the exciting roadside attractions just as you would back in the 1920s traveling down. Our first stop is actually a little ways away from Chicago. We're gonna go to the Gemini Giant, where you can actually pick up what's called a passport booklet, where it tells you all of the cool places to stop along the way to get the most out of your experience driving down Route 66.
Now turn right, and then you will reach your destination.
Now it feels like it's officially begun, because that's like one of the most iconic stops.
Yep.
You have reached your destination.
The Gemini Giant is one of a bunch of Muffler men, which were these giant kind of advertising pieces from the 60s. So they had a lot of different variations of them. The first was Paul Bunyan, and this one is kind of like a space astronaut.
So the Gemini Giant is actually located here at the launching pad. It used to be an old drive-in and they actually still serve a lot of food. But we're here to collect our Route 66 passport. So that way we know all the cool stopping points along the way.
It literally is our luck. So today the launching pad is closed because their point of sale machines are down nationwide. Not anything that we would have been able to control. They're closed Thursdays, which is tomorrow, but just our luck that we aren't going to be able to go in. But we're still here. It's a good starting point for our kind of Route 66 adventure, and we can see the Gemini Giant. We're definitely going to put Appa next to it for some photo session stuff.
Thankfully, there are other locations that you can buy the passport, but this is kind of like the cliche one. So a little bit disappointed, but I've actually been reading that, unfortunately, this happens a lot in Route 66, that everything kind of has weird times, so you just gotta go with the flow and take it easy, which is the whole point of this road trip. So on to the next stop. Even though we have a loose itinerary for what we're wanting to see along Route 66, the great part is that there's roadside attractions pretty much the entire way. So we just stumbled upon one, and that's a 2-celled jail. Press the button for message. Oh.
Welcome to Gardner, Illinois. We're happy that you've taken the time to visit and explore these unique and one-of-a-kind pieces of Route 66 folklore. You're now at the historic 1906 2-cell jail.
That was really nice.
Yeah.
So it was neat. There was a lot of these little painted on signs on the road. So there was a bunch of them that had the Route 66 highway marker, and then some that said this jail, which is the location we just came to. So kind of a cool way to advertise.
So apparently the jail didn't house any real bad criminals. It was mostly homeless people who were looking for work that would hop off of the train tracks that ran through town. But fun fact about the train tracks, they also carried Lincoln's casket when unfortunately he was assassinated. But cool tidbits of history just in this tiny town. Route 66, highway. Route 66 and then the highway.
It is weird to see no one on this road and then the highway just full of cars just feet from where we're at.
This is a really good example of kind of what happened once the highway went in. So it's to our right and they're cruising right along, and then the old highway kind of got deserted and there's absolutely no one on this one, even though it's right next to the high-speed one. Kind of surreal to be able to see it firsthand exactly what everybody's been talking about when these type of highways do go in and the effect that they have on the smaller highways and local roads. As we're getting closer to the visitor center that we're hopefully going to be able to spend the night at tonight, we keep on stumbling upon some more Route 66 road stop attractions, I guess you can call them. I'm not quite sure. But this one's quite interesting, so let's get out and take a peek at this.
This staircase actually would have gone down below street level, underneath the road, to get to that side so that people could go over to the church because of how busy Route 66 used to be.
It's hard to imagine Route 66, well at least the one that we've been driving, as being that populated, as oftentimes we've been the only car on this long stretch, and this is like Illinois, where we were imagining it probably being its busiest. So to picture this area as being flooded with cars so much so that they needed an underground walkway is just mind-boggling. Look at it now.
But there is a cool old historic gas station up there that we'll pull into as we're driving by.
You're happy that you're visiting the historic Standard Oil filling station. Tens of thousands of people have passed this way before you. If you sit on the bench and close your eyes, you can sense, even hear the sound, the excitement of travel, the apprehension of what lies ahead on the ribbon of road known as Route 66.
The recording was talking about how if you were to look from where we're sitting now, oftentimes it would be bumper to bumper traffic in both directions on this road. And now we've sat here for 5-10 minutes and there's local resident traffic, but there's no one. It's just so interesting, I guess, to see how just the addition of the highway a little bit of ways has completely rendered this road obsolete.
And it makes you appreciate stops like this that force you to reflect back on everything and have done so well in preserving the history here.
87 miles down, 2,361 miles to go.
You can pack your bags 'cause we're headed on vacation. Throw 'em in the back on to our destination. Don't forget your toothbrush and you don't need no makeup unless you want it, baby, that's fine with me. Headed on a road trip, let's go, let's go. Washing every town we dip on past. You're in charge of the tunes, just skip the ones that make the time just fly on by, 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 by.
(1926). That's cool. So this is the original historic Route 66.
I think we'll make it just 6 more
So we
hours
are
on it.
camped out at a Cracker Barrel about 8 minutes away from the visitor center that we're going to pop over to first thing in the morning. But before we get to bed and transform our van into bed mode, we're actually going to heat up the pizza that we got a little bit earlier today as a late dinner here in the Cracker Barrel parking lot. We got the fan on, we have the doors cracked. Now we can bring out our stove.
It's only a first stop. We gonna do it again. Hey, you can pack your bags 'cause we're headed on vacation. Throw 'em in the back to our destination.
So we are all set for bed mode, and by extension bed. We had a really good first day to this road trip. It was a lot of cool things. I've never been to Chicago before, so that was awesome to see. Tonight we are camping out in a Cracker Barrel parking lot. Tomorrow morning, first thing, we're heading over to the Visitor Center on Route 66 here in Illinois, and we are getting that Route 66 passport to start our journey proper, because then we can start getting stamps, which will be a lot of fun.
Fingers crossed it all works out. See you tomorrow. Good morning. We started our day off bright and early at the visitor center, but unfortunately they were sold out, which I guess is good that it's so popular, but unfortunately all the passports are gone at this location. In retrospect, we probably should have ordered one before we started this, which is definitely an option, but I thought it'd be cool to get one on the road, so learn from our mistakes. If you're gonna do this and want the passport, order it to your house before you start traveling.
Yeah, so we did come here to the Cruisin with Lincoln on Route 66 Visitor Center. It was a cool little spot. They had some interesting stuff. This was actually the courthouse that Lincoln practiced law at before he became president, so that was really cool. Some neat history here and really friendly staff when you go inside, so it was definitely a good stop, but we didn't get what we were coming here for.
Well, technically we did. They gave us the stamps for the passport, so I guess we can always just tape them in later, but unfortunately no passport booklet. We also got some temporary tattoos and some pencils.
Yeah, so we are jumping back in Appa and we're going to hit the road and try and find a Route 66 passport so that we can put those stamps in. Oh, I have the keys to Appa, so we can't get in until I unlock it. There we go.
Now we kind of have to come up with a new game plan because we were going to use the passport as a guide. I made some points of interest stops that I thought would be neat, but we really wanted the passport as kind of that guide and make it kind of like a fun challenge to try to get as many as the passport stamps as possible. So now we're wondering if we want to backtrack up to a museum that we wanted to visit yesterday but was closed.
I don't know if they have passports there, but either way,
Yeah.
I think it's a good spot to stop at, and then we'll just be on the lookout for the next one on the list where they sell the passports.
Yeah, but that's what this is about. Taking our time, seeing the sights, making our way slowly to California. We took off for a couple of weeks off of our jobs for this, so this is kind of like our vacation time, and then we're gonna start working on the road. So it's all an exciting time, but right now we have all the time in the world because we're not worried about work, we are on vacation, and just really gonna enjoy this journey.
So we have arrived into the town of Pontiac. We had to backtrack about 45 minutes from the Cruisin with Lincoln Visitor Center, but we are now here at the Route 66 Museum in Pontiac.
We cheated, we used the highway.
Yeah, we did. That was, but it was interesting to see Route 66 from the highway, having seen the highway from Route 66. So there's free parking just across the street from the museum, and we're heading in now. Oh, and this is the bus.
Whoa! So this bus was actually the home of Bob Waldmire. He was a famous artist, traveling artist all up and down Route 66 that helped revamp it. A lot of the murals that you'll see all along are artwork by him. So I actually watched a video before we came here of the inside of the van, and it's really cool. There's sleeper bunks and all this is set up, so I guess like he was one of the original van lifers or bus lifers. What do you call them? Schoolies. So it's just really cool to see a legend and his bus.
My name is Bob Waldmire, and I got to grow up in Springfield right on Route 66. The traveling, the freedom of living in your vehicle, moving on down the road to the next town, the next adventure, the next drawing project, took hold early on.
No luck on a passport, but we got another stamp. When we eventually get it, we're gonna have a huge collection. His Volkswagen bus was the inspiration for Fillmore in the movie Cars, so that's a pretty cool tidbit of information and just a little bit more sentimentalness when you watch the Cars movie to know where all the inspiration behind it came from. When Pixar was making the movie, they traveled Route 66 and were inspired by all these different stops, and it's just really neat to know that we're now being inspired by the same things that inspired Bob as well as people at Pixar. Definitely can relate to that.
This was a free museum, really great and knowledgeable staff here, so it was a cool stop.
We asked the same thing if they had the Route 66 booklets here because we saw that in the window, but apparently they're sold out everywhere, and I think she said that they had a warehouse fire too. So, guess we're traveling Route 66 the old-fashioned way without a passport, on our own, just taking in the sights, which you can't be too mad about. And as we're walking out, there's footprints on the ground, and she said if you follow the red ones, they take you to the different murals around the area. But we're gonna follow the different footsteps and go check out all the cool murals.
Don't you want to live out your wildest dreams? 'Cause right now we've got
The last thing we need to do behind this visitor center after now driving up near the big mural is the wishing
no
well.
better place to be.
So it says, yes, dreams do come true on Route 66. All you have to do is believe. You're gonna make a wish and then hit the road to continue heading out on Route 66. There are laundry quarters, but it'll be worth it. Don't you have to do it behind you?
What if you, I mean, I'll do this way, you can do that way, and if you miss, I'll laugh. 1, 2, 3. I totally missed.
Did I make it?
You went in, I totally flopped it. All right, I'll try your way then.
I did the Trevi Fountain way, where you're supposed to throw it in behind you and not see where it lands, so Mike's wish didn't come true. Take 2 for him.
Slam dunk. Did I miss again?
Still missed. Oh my gosh.
Okay. No more jokes, no more goofing around. Did it go in this time? 3rd time's the charm. That was really embarrassing. All right, so we're getting back in Appa. I think we're gonna maybe make ourselves some food to take on the road because we have a 45-minute drive back to where we started this morning, and we're gonna pick up Route 66 from there and keep heading down.
Our stomachs are full and water bottles, and now we're ready to hit the road again, making our way down Route 66.
Down the highway back to where we started this morning.
Yeah, we're gonna cheat. We're gonna cheat again to get to the exact spot that we left off because we drove Route 66 the whole way there, took the highway to come back, and then we're gonna take the highway to pick up right where we left off for Route 66. Look, in a perfect world, we drive Route 66 back and forth. But the gas prices now, we're trying to keep as much driving down as possible. So unfortunately, we have to do Route 66 a little dirty right now and hop on the highway, bypass it, and then hop back on right where we left off.
I got this feeling, yeah, it's stirring in my bones. It's got me dreaming of chasing that golden coast.
Is this someone's house?
Yeah. So we saw a roadside attraction sign for maple syrup. So we had to pull over and I'm gonna go check out what this roadside stop attraction has to offer.
We haven't mentioned it, but we have been using a Route 66 navigation app. I don't know if I think it's the best thing, but it's worked well enough. We'll see if we can get the hang of it. But yeah, in 1891, they opened the first commercial maple syrup farm at Funk's Grove.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
You guys traveling 66?
We are. We started out of Chicago yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
doing the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Trying to at least.
And
Thank
$12. Thank you very
you.
much.
Appreciate it. So we just stopped in at Funk's Grove and picked ourselves up some maple syrup goodies, including a little thing of syrup, so this will go good with our pancakes that we'll have to make along Route 66. We got some maple syrup candy and Mike's pick, the maple syrup ice cream. So we'll definitely dive into these in a moment. But the significance of Funk's Grove is that the Funk family has owned this and has been tapping the maple here since the 1800s. So it's been passed along generation to generation, and they've had this maple syrup farm. I guess the kind of quirky thing is that they spell syrup with an I. In the words of Webster Dictionary, syrup with a Y meant adding sugar to juice, and syrup with an I meant boiling sap for sugar. The I indicated it was a pure product, which is what the Funks desired to convey in their marketing. So that's why it's syrup with an I instead of a Y. And on that note, we're gonna dig into all of our maple syrup with an I goodies.
You want to do ice cream first?
Yes, melting.
Okay. And they gave us spoons, little wooden spoons.
Like gelato spoons. Basie, syrup with an I.
This does look good. Ooh. You're able to easily scoop into it with these little wooden spoons.
We will have to eat this all in one sitting because we only have a refrigerator and not a
freezer.
But I'm not mad about it.
It's good.
Yeah, this is definitely good.
Definitely tastes like maple syrup.
And this was only $5, so that wasn't even that bad.
Yeah, this was really cool. A nice stop, and it's not the hottest day, but it's definitely warmed up, so not hating on ice cream.
And now our maple sugar candies. Yep, pure sugar. What's not to love? Ice cream is where it's at, though.
Yeah, the sugar candies are cool because it is pure sugar, so it almost dissolves in your mouth as soon as you start eating it.
What would be really good is if you chopped these up and put them in there.
That'd be like a maple overload.
But definitely worth a stop. And we have a cute little maple syrup jar that we'll be able to enjoy a little bit later on.
Bye, Funk's Grove syrup stand.
With an eye.
Oh, look, another Giant.
Oh, there we go. We stumbled across another Giant in the town of Atlanta. Atlanta, Illinois, not Atlanta, Georgia.
Like we said at the Gemini Giant, these were sort of advertising pieces. This one, I think, in fact, was purchased in 1965 by a guy named H.A. Stevens. So he bought this, which originally would have been a Paul Bunyan one, switched the axe for a hot dog, and put it in front of his restaurant on Route 66. So I think it worked, though. It got us to stop.
We just gotta live in the moment. Blow your Monday, let's just go for it. Pack your bags and I'll grab the door. We'll head straight for the sun. I've been thinking we should get away. Leave our troubles for another day. Gonna take you to a sunny place.
The next stop on Route 66 is actually Oak Ridge Cemetery. We're here to see Lincoln's tomb.
We saw Lincoln's tomb, and you can actually see it up there. Not saw where it was, not had seen it yet. And we came down to the bottom of the hill to find parking.
We just finished with walking inside the monument. We were able to walk around a circular pathway that had all these different miniature versions of famous Lincoln statues, and then right in the middle was actually his tomb where he was buried 10 feet below, and then some of his family members as well were in there. It was a really surreal place to be, as Abraham Lincoln is considered one of the greatest US presidents that we have ever had as a nation, and he did a lot of great for the country, and to know that this was where he was buried and that we were mere feet away from such a great person was kind of surreal. If you rub his nose, it's actually good luck, so we both got a chance to do that.
Yep.
So hopefully between the wishing well and the good luck of rubbing Lincoln's nose, we have some of that to carry with us.
To run in place, be chased by what's inside, can find by oceans deep and wide. The wasted days and faded grace subside in time, and I'll be tearing across the sky.
Now that we've driven past the world's largest ketchup bottle, that's kind of like the last roadside attraction stop that we have for Illinois along Route 66. So now we're going to pull up iOverlander, which is an app that we find free camping at, and try to see if there's anything in this area. If not, we can always fall back on Waldmire and the trusty Cracker Barrel. In case you were wondering, it is going to be Cracker Barrel because there was a Cracker Barrel 10 minutes away, now 9 minutes away from the world's largest ketchup bottle. So Cracker Barrel it is again.
Yes, trusty Cracker Barrel. We've always had good luck with those.
We're really excited to get out west where we'll have more real camping sites, including like BLM land and a lot of like the wild camping. But a lot of the East Coast traveling that we've done so far, there's just not that type of availability for camping. So a lot of it has been in Walmarts and Cracker Barrels unless we're going to stay at a paid campsite, and kind of around cities as well. Those are your best options, is Cracker Barrel or Walmarts or Planet Fitness. So we're really excited to start heading out west, where hopefully our camping for the night will look a little bit less like parking lots and more like
open wild.
Yeah, well, what it's supposed to look like when you go camping.
We just got over to the Cracker Barrel and we're getting ready to prepare a gourmet meal of Reese's Puff cereal and Special K strawberry cereal,
Yes.
because that's what's on deck for tonight for dinner. Okay, so we'll grab out our bowls. Oh wait, it wasn't. I thought I got Special K. No, it's banana and strawberry Cheerios. We are always super envious when we watch other van lifers prepare these really great meals with vegetables and things like that.
Well, and we're in a parking lot today, so we can't really do much more than heat something up that's super simple, like what we did with the pizza or something like this. So once we actually have space to be able to have a campsite area, like I said, once we go out west, hopefully we'll be able to cook some of like the pasta and other foods that we have tucked in here. But for now, parking lot camping, cereal's always the best option.
Yeah,
for us at least.
All right, so we're going to enjoy our gourmet dinner / breakfast of champions as we come to a close for this day, and I guess on our Route 66 journey through Illinois.
Tomorrow starts the second state along Route 66 for us here, which is Missouri. So we're going to go to the city of St. Louis, which Route 66 cuts straight through, and see that arch that we just got a sneak peek of. So we're really excited about that. So we're gonna finish our cereal, get to bed because we have an early stay tomorrow to make sure that we get in and beat some of that traffic.
If you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. We've really enjoyed this start to Route 66 and are very excited to share the rest of our journey with you. If you're new around here and haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions that you would like us to answer, let us know in the comments, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks.